Hi everybody, it's Amalia, and I'm here today with Smash That Paper Pad with Deb Houck's Crafty Cottage. This is a year-long collab where every month we're going to be trying to use up our smaller paper pad stashes, and no pressure to finish up a paper pad, but we're going to be working through our paper pads, and I've committed to using up at least 4 paper pads this year throughout the collab. And this is the first paper pad that I am starting on. And I'll tell you a secret to using up your stash. To get started with using a paper pad, you really just have to break the seal and separate each piece of paper from the paper pad. Take it out, break it up. You set out all your papers so that you can see them. And, since you've broken the seal, well, now you've got to use your stash up. So that's really the first step. Break that seal and tear every paper out of that pad so that you will have it in front of you to see and choose and use it. That being said, so far I only have 2 cards made. Just 2. It's not a very good start to smashing the paper pad, but I've got started. I actually have 2 done, complete cards. Well, actually, they're not complete. I have to put my label on the back. I'm going to call this a note card and not leave anything on the inside. It says simply hello, and I used one of the bigger polka dots sheets, and I used a complementary color. I think this is called Tempting Turquoise. This is Stampin' Up! Color. I don't know if it's still a current color, but that's the paper that I used. I think it goes pretty well. And I think one of the things also that I've seen in the past for people that use a lot of 6x6 paper pads is that when you're combining patterned papers, you can get some symmetry, some balance in combining patterns by sort of using like a trio of papers. And you can start with patterns that are a large pattern, maybe something that's somewhere in between a large, and then something that's small. So try to break it up in terms of patterns. If you're using papers from the same pad, which that's what they're there for, they're all coordinating papers to go with one another. You'll already have that problem solved because it's going to coordinate, right? But if you use small, medium, and large patterns together, you'll be able to create a kind of symmetry with with the patterns. They'll be matching in terms of pattern, color, tone, and values, because that's what the pads are made up to do. And then just sort of coordinate by using small, medium, and large. And that'll break up the eye. You've got something big and bold to draw your attention to, and then you got something a little bit smaller to sort of ease your eye into the next pattern, and then you've got something even smaller than that to sort of focus and create sort of, I guess, a grounding for your patterns. So those are the 2 cards I created. I matted them on the Tempting Turquoise, and I passed the bottom layer through a small dots embossing folder, which I think also kind of works with the pattern paper. And I don't know if you can see, but I used a black sparkle embossing powder. This is the stamp I used. It's just a gift with purchase that I got from Tailored Expressions. This is what it looks like on solid cardstock. And this is the powder I used. It's called Whispers Glitter Embossing Powder. And this is a black glitter embossing powder. It's called Black Sparkle. And so yes, that's it. For this one, I made a little kind of like boo-boo and tore the paper a little bit, and so I decided to frame it. I just used a Sharpie marker to create the frame, and I think it works. Yeah, it grounds it kind of like from just floating there. Anyway, so that's what I've started so far. Oh, and I'm using Operation Write Home B12. This is the card map that I'm using. I did a pretty good job, I think, in going along with the card map. I use pre-made cards and envelopes, and this particular card map had all the measurements on it, but I had to use different measurements to fit on the card size that I have. So I wrote out my measurements, but honestly, I don't think I stuck religiously to those measurements, but it worked out pretty well, I think. On the back side is another map. I printed these out myself. I found them, you can Google it, Operation Write Home, card maps, card sketches, and that should be able to bring up the file right up for you. And I saw there was another sketch on the back of this one, so I decided to start work on those. And I'm working on, I have 8, yeah. I'm working on 8 more cards. So this is, I started embossing already. I just embossed the background paper. This is So Saffron, also from Stampin' Up. I don't know if it's a current color or not. This is a chevron pattern in an embossing folder. So I just went ahead and did those. And then I decided to cut the paper. There's some patterns in here. Actually, there's more than one. Let me see if I can find it for you. This is the large size one of this. This is kind of just like stripes of the patterns. And so this one was the smaller version of it. It's kind of like washi tape, let's say, right? So my plan is to go right ahead and just do this. It looks like a really simple pattern, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and because I've got a pattern going on, even though it's a monotone pattern, color on color, I've got that pattern going on. I'm just going to add this stripe straight across, and it matches this color right here in my paper. And then I'm going to go ahead and I've cut a little bit, I cut this down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this on some purple cardstock I have. I don't know what the name of this brand is or the color. It's not Stampin' Up. It's something I know I got it Tuesday morning. But I'm going to take that and cut it down and use that as a matting for this white paper. And then stick that right there. But I'm having a hard time deciding how to treat this. So with this one, you know, and this one right here, normally what I would do is put my sentiment or my stamped image in there, but it said put a sentiment here, so that's kind of just what I did there. And then here, but here what I want to do is I want to put the sentiment in here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to this is separate, happy and birthday. I'm going to do happy and then birthday. And then behind that, I'm going to do some of these balloons, I think. And I'm going to try, I think I'm going to do this in black or in the black sparkle. And I have, I definitely have Tempting Turquoise ink. And I have a purple ink, I have a yellow ink. I think I have a purple ink. Well, anyway, I'm going to use matching colors to paint the balloons in the background. So I'll have my sentiment, so I won't need this as a sentiment, But maybe what I'll still do is I'm still trying to use up my enamel dots, and I have matching ribbon. I think someone just sent me this as a gift recently, and it matches perfectly. So maybe I'll just put a bow right there and a couple of enamel dots, and that's my card. But obviously it's not finished yet, so join me again next month when I'll show you how much more progress I've made on this paper pad. And yeah, don't forget to check out in the description below. We've got other people in the collab, and go check out their channels and check out their videos and see how they're progressing on their smaller paper pads. And leave a comment below. Tell me what you think I should do with my next set of cards. And click thumbs up. Thanks. Bye.